Okay, I just woke up, so I'm a little groggy, but we'll get right into it. You know, we'll get right fucking into things. No dilly dallying. As they say. Doesn't matter if Black Ops 6 Zombies succeeds. Well, yeah, of course it does. I mean, what kind of fucking retarded question is that? Like, why did you just ask that ass? Do you have severe mental problems? Is there a lack of oxygen in your tiny, dumb, Neolithic brain? Well, to answer that question, yes. But also, BO6 Zombies has been a pretty weird rollercoaster of emotion so far. We hit strides with the releases of Terminus and Liberty, with Liberty Falls far exceeding expectations for being such a small map, and Terminus being a heavy hitter with large expansive environments to explore, loads of side Easter eggs, and a very good boss fight to add onto it. Then we got Citadel, a map that for some exceeded expectations again, and was a great map for what it is. And for some, failing to land and properly nailing the atmosphere is setting up. So, you're probably asking, S, why does this matter to anyone? I mean, we're watching this video because we're Zombies fans, and we've been here the whole fucking time. You don't need to explain it to us. Well, look, I think maybe you realize I didn't speak about one map, one specific map. The Tomb. A map so universally hated, it sends shivers down people's spines and gives people PTSD every time I mention it. The Tomb was a shell of what BO6 Zombies was setting up, a boring, bare-bones map that anyone who played was bored within 5 seconds, right? With an Easter egg that put a frown on anyone's face. The boss fight had you fighting a fucking mirror, for God's sake. Like, who cares? And here we are. Shattered Veil. The best map in BO6. So far, by unanimous decision, right? The atmosphere is incredible, the Easter egg fun, and actually gives lore implications, but does it all matter? Does any of this game matter? Some people have said for the longest time this game feels more like a stopgap to buy some time before BO7. And what if this is true? What if the game is a stopgap? Well, would any of this matter? This leads to my next point. This Zombies mode is online only. There's no offline mode, so when the servers go down, so does the game. Never to be played again. So, in the future, will this game ever matter truly? I think for proving Treyarch understands Zombies fans and what they want from the game mode, yes, absolutely. I mean, it's Treyarch showing us that they understand our, wants and needs for this game mode. It's literally them proving we can still do it. Let us show you. But for the maps, characters, everything around it, everything that's going to be gone once the servers shut down, not as much. I think there's a big emphasis on preservation there, right? The problem with it being online only is that once the servers go down, we'll never be able to play it again. Never. And that's a sad prospect, because I don't think BO6 Zombies is a bad Zombies mode. Now, what they were saying was that they were trying to make a better Zombies mode than anything previous. So the best Zombies mode, in my opinion, you can disagree, is BO3, right? That's the best Zombies mode. I mean, we had fucking heavy hitters, bro. Like, every map, no matter what map it was, still had some redeeming qualities to them. Storytelling was at an all-time high. We had Jason Blundell, directing the whole thing. And Craig Houston, I mean, he was writing the stories with Jason, and honestly, they're the fucking duo. They're the fucking dream team, bro. Like, you can't beat that. And so I don't think BO6, in a sense, beat BO3. But it's definitely up there with some of the best Zombies modes we've had in, ages, right? Think about it. Vanguard and MWZ were not zombies. They're just not zombies, right? Maybe you could argue MWZ was closer to zombies, but it's not. It's not zombies, right? MWZ is DMZ with a fucking coat of paint, right? But, it's not zombies. So, therefore, this is the closest thing we have that resembles zombies in a newer form. And I think it does a really good job of being able to kind of move away from the past in some ways, but bring some of those aspects back in a new modern sense. And that's a really good thing. Now, look, if we were playing the same old maps over and over and over again with the, you know, just with different names and different type of atmospheres, just kind of remixed, I would get very, very bored very, very quickly. So to bring some of those aspects back, but also remix them to fit more with the BO6 story, like for example, Citadel, of course it's inspired by the Eisendrache and probably even Origins a little bit with the Elemental Swords, right? Like it is BO3 in a sense. It's a BO3 type map. It makes sense. Though I'd also argue that Shattered Veil is kind of a BO3 map. But I don't know. It's kind of more like a BO1, BO2 mix mash. So I'll leave it up to, you know, public discussion. But in a sense, this is the most jam-packed game we've had so far for zombies. And I think it does show that even though Jason Blundell's gone, there's still people there that care about this game mode. At least a little bit, right? Like, I know it's not going to be the main moneymaker for COD ever again. It just won't be. I mean, they have Warzone to rely on, and they have Warzone to uphold and, you know, push out new fucking bundles every day. But, like, if you think about it in terms of what they're doing for us, it's not a bad package, you know? Like, I get it. They also have to cooperate with Activision's business model while also appeasing hardcore fans. That's a really hard dance to fucking master, bro. Like, it's not something you can just do. It's something you need to think about, plan ahead, and, you know, have preliminaries in place to make sure that it works. And I think, personally, the team is doing an absolutely fucking amazing job. Now, also, don't get me wrong, they're probably also not getting breaks and, you know, like shit like that because, you know, time crunch and Activision fucking working people to the bone. So if there's a bad product, I'm not directly angry at Treyarch, or as fucking stupid as it sounds, Activision, as in a sense. I'm more angry at the fact that these people, you know, well, I'm not even angry. I'm just kind of disappointed because it just means we get a lackluster product out of it, right? And that's sad, but it's human error. We move on. I mean, if you think about it, there's really only one bad map in BO6, and that's the Tomb. And that's because of the writer strike. Like well, not the writer strike, the voice actor, SAG-AFTRA. That's the only reason. There's no voice acting. It was probably a rush job because they couldn't get any of the voice actors back apart from them doing some lines on the map. And I'm pretty sure most of them were already pre-recorded before the SAG-AFTRA strikes. So it kind of leaves you in a rough place, right? A rock and a hard place here. It's like you could skip a map and maybe go on hiatus for a bit, but then your fans are probably going to fall off over time and you're going to lose that hype that, you know, Black Ops 6 Zombies was funneling. Or you can make the map have no dialogue, but still give people a map. I guess they went for the latter option, to some people's dismay, but at the same time, I kind of see where they were, what was happening. You know, I kind of understand. So I'm not as angry about the Tomb as I was when it released. And that brings me back to my point, right? One bad map, people are already jumping on it, going, yeah, Black Ops 6 Zombies is dead. It's fucking dead. It's fucking dead. But if you think about it, not really. I mean, Citadel was a very good map. Like, even if it didn't meet your expectations, it's still not a bad map. You can admit that. Liberty Falls literally blew everyone's expectations out of the fucking water. I mean, people were like talking about how it's going to be super easy and that it's a small map, so it doesn't really matter in the grand scheme of things. And then we got Terminus, which was a large scale map. People loved Terminus when it came out. Now, I have seen some people switching on Terminus, me included. I don't think it's that good of a map. And I didn't really think it was that good of a map at launch. But I can admit what it did for the community, what it showed to us, is that at least Treyarch cares. If not some things were wrong at the start. Yes, there were some things that needed to be fixed, like the boss spam, fucking everything like that. But at the end of the day, like, it showed Treyarch cared about the game mode at least a little bit. And I think with this, I want to move on to Kevin Drew. Kevin Drew is doing a fucking incredible job, and you cannot tell me otherwise. He's doing a fine fucking job. I think he's a great, I think he's a great head of zombies. I actually think he's really good. Probably the best we've seen since Blundell. No, don't get me wrong. Houston was trying to do Cold War. He did Cold War, and that was during COVID. He had a lot of limitations against him, and that makes sense as to why that zombies mode came out at that time. It was just easy, quick, and something that they could put out to show that they didn't not care about zombies, but it wasn't going to be the main focus. And that's exactly what we needed at that time. Cold War was a fun game, and I think a lot of people, when I speak to them, some people I know got into zombies during Cold War because it was just so easy to pick up and play and understand lore implications. Personally, I mean, if you're going to play zombies, I'd get you to start with Black Ops 3, but I get it. For some people, they don't like that challenge curve, right? They don't like that difficulty spike, and I get that. So whatever floats your boat, whatever gets you into this mode, that's cool, because I think if more people play zombies, the more Treyarch and Activision will pay attention to that and put, quality into their maps. Put a lot more quality than maybe they originally were going to, right? Like, it is a sad reality to think, okay, we're never going to get, Black Ops 3 style stories ever again. But I've come to terms with that. I came to terms with that a long time ago. We will never get to that peak again. I mean, and fucking, I'll bite my fucking tongue if that's not true, and we will. Because honestly, I wish we could. So fucking bad. Like, every day I see, most of these Easter eggs. I mean, because I do videos on zombies, I have to do these Easter eggs, right? And when I do them, I see sparks of Black Ops 3 in those cutscenes. Like, Shattered Veil was a very good example of that. I saw some of that Treyarch edginess in there, like the stick it to the man attitude type shit, right? The rebellious type shit that Activision would always pull off in their cutscenes, making some fucking long, coherent storyline, dragging you along until the, near the end of the conclusion, and then you get some fucking awesome-ass story twist. I saw that in Shattered Veil, but I also saw that modernized storytelling, like the easy to follow, slow paced storytelling. And it's not something that I'm angry about, but it's not something that, I'm entirely fond of. I like a good mystery. I like a good, follow the trail and we'll give you a clue type thing, right? But I think with Shattered Veil and all these other maps, it's more, we give you a question and then we follow it up with more questions, but then we give you an answer. And then I guess that was Cold War, really, with the mystery question, or answer, sorry. Mystery answer type format. But I think now it's more question, answer, question, answer, question, answer, question, answer. Now, I like following the clues, having the little trail, having the little breadcrumbs I can follow along and be like, okay, so this links to this links to this, but it's not giving me a direct answer. It's giving me something that I can think about and be like, okay, I got an answer for this question, but where does this one go, right? And I think that's what I miss about zombies so much. Especially, the deep cut lore and the implications of that, and then, CIPHER hunting as well was also really fun in zombies. I do miss that as well. I thought they were going to be doing some ciphers in this, honestly, because, seeing, the truth lies and stuff like that, I thought, okay, this is going to be, a cool little mystery game type thing, like with BO3. But it just really hasn't been so far. It's more just pick up the intel and listen, like Cold War. And I'm not angry about that, but I'm not, exactly thrilled about it either. No, I think Zombies is in a good place, and I think that Treyarch are doing a great job. But does BO6 matter in the grand scheme of things? And I'd say no. For most of its gameplay, no, I don't think so. I think by the time this game's servers are shut down, Zombies is going to have evolved. The game mode's going to have evolved again, and it's going to be something different, and it's going to be probably exciting. is probably going to be exciting to follow. Like, I'm not ruling out the idea that zombies will ever be bad, like, will be good again. Like, I'm not saying that, and I'm not saying that zombies is even bad to begin with, right? Like, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying, does this game matter in the grand scheme of things? And I just don't think so. At least for me. Don't get me wrong, it does prove to me that Treyarch and Activision are listening and understand the fan base a little bit better than I thought they did. So that's cool. And it does show that they're listening to community feedback with some of the updates that they're improving and they're making things better. So yes, it shows that. It shows feedback is appreciated from Treyarch again. That's cool. And it also shows that Activision are listening because their wallets are getting lined. No, I mean, it shows that people are listening within the dev team, and it shows that they do care for this game mode and they do have passion for it, right? It shows me that. And so I think, in short, does this game mode matter? No. Does this game matter? No. I mean, and when I say game mode, I don't mean zombies as a whole. I mean game mode in this game specifically. So I guess if I'm really boiling it down, just game in general. Does this game matter? No. No, it doesn't. No, not at all. I don't think it matters like one single bit. Because once we get to BO7, that's the main game. And I'm telling you, they'll probably make that like offline play. Because I just think this game is a stopgap between this and BO7. That's what I'm thinking. I think it's just to tide us over and show Treyarch that they're devoted to us and they're working to make sure that their game's the best it can be. That's what I'm thinking. And therefore, with that, I want to fucking bid you adieu. You know, I think BO6 doesn't matter within the grand scheme of things, and I don't think that's a bad thing either. I think this is more just like a proof of concept kind of thing. It's kind of weird because I don't think anything like this has ever been done before, like a proof of concept game that actually released. But I think it's a proof of concept for like an online, like, it's kind of hard to explain. It's like a proof of concept that it shows that zombies can work within this sort of environment. And I think that's something that we really needed to know. Because I think with Activision's like guidelines and stuff, we had no idea. We didn't know what the fuck was going on. But I think like this does show that zombies as a game mode, as a story device, can work within modern games. Because I think with the lack of round base, we were kind of thinking the zombies was done. Like we kind of thought that was the direction they were going to go forever and never go back to round based. And they did with BO6. And I think it's a proof of concept to show, no, we do understand that round base can work within this environment, but we were also just testing some other avenues and stuff. And I think that's what they're trying to do. And I think Modern Warfare Zombies and Vanguard failed in those respects, but I think this is where BO6 succeeded. But I just don't think it matters in the grand scheme of things. Until BO7 comes out, I can't say for certain, but I think that's where most of Treyarch's passion is going right now. At least that's how it feels. I think with like the Tomb, it kind of gave them a break as sorts to work on BO7. And I think with that, BO7's coming out this year. We have 2 Black Ops 6 games that are going to be running the life cycle of each other, I guess. Probably not, because BO7's probably going to happen later in the year, but probably around like October, November time. But still, what I'm trying to say is that you think about it from that certain point of view, where it's like BO7 is just, the BO6 is just running time. BO6 is just running time until BO7 comes out. That is what it is. So does it matter? No. Will it ever matter? Yeah. I think if we look back on it, yeah, it will probably matter to some people. People will look back on it fondly, but they'll never be able to play it again. So does it matter? No, it doesn't. Because it's not something that's going to be there forever. It's not going to be something that you can play forever. It's just kind of a temporary thing to show that they do understand what it takes to have a zombies game mode. And I think that's exactly what we needed in today's era. I think that's also a good thing to show that they're moving in the right direction and right steps. But I don't think they needed to make a whole game for that. I guess maybe they wanted to do multiplayer and campaign, they just added zombies along with it. Who knows, but that's how I personally think of BO6 Zombies. I just don't think it matters in the grand scheme of things. Now, let me know if you disagree in the comments. Honestly, I'd love to hear, like, your opinion on things at the moment, and how you think of zombies at the moment. Like, what do you think of the state of the game mode? I mean, I think it's personally in a pretty good state right now, especially with Shadow Vale. People are very happy with that map, including me. I love Shadow Vale. I'm really enjoying it. So, I mean, I'd love to hear your opinions in the comments below. Like, let me know. And, yeah, this has been S, I guess, and, yeah, see ya.